Tihe Mōri ora. Just like to start by saying kia ora, Nadine, for that great welcome. Nadine has given the best telling off or scolding so far about washing hands and smoking, but also has the best sparkling, sleek black shoes. Look out for them as she comes up on stage. And a huge kia ora to Otene for that welcome. I ngā mana whenua, ngā mana, I ngā reo, I rā rangatirama. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Ka huri ki a koe, te minita Honoré Poto Williams. Me ngā MB, Kaya Rahi, Callum, Chris, other officials. Tēnā koe a tēnā koutou, kei te mihi, kei te mihi. Hira whakahirahira. Today is a very special day. E hui hui mai, ana tātou kei te ata wānanga. Mō te oranga o Aotearoa, mō ngā whakatupuranga ka heki mai nei. We're gathering here to share knowledge for the betterment of Aotearoa and future generations. Ka tae I te tātou, we can deliver. A big heartfelt welcome from the New Zealand Green Building Council whānau and the Property Council of New Zealand. You are the lucky few in this room and in our sector, the few that can deliver such substantial changes in sustainability and environmental outcomes and health. It's great to have you here, 450 people, sold out a month early. We have people calling each day for tickets. So clearly there's a very strong interest in delivering more. Thank you for taking the time to engage on this agenda. A quick recap on where we are following the 2019 Green Property Summit. So since then, there's been a pretty big shift. So what's happened? Well, there's a few things. The Climate Change Commission's draft recommendations. Who submitted on that? Put your hand up. Great, very good. Not enough of you, but that's good. The Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosure. That's going to be very weighty to drive change. Financial institutions, insurance, banks, and those holding $1 billion worth of assets in Crown institutions. The minor announcement by the Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern of the carbon neutral public sector program. So we now have departments and others calling us almost weekly for help on their new build and existing buildings. New procurement guidance from the Government Property Group on not just low carbon, but lower embodied carbon. Great to see that. We published research 2 years ago looking at embodied carbon and found that it totals around 10% of our total carbon emissions in Aotearoa. We're seeing banks, such as that small startup ANZ, starting to restrict its lending to only buildings that are green rated. We are seeing the really exciting Building for Climate Change program. It's a real honour to have you here, Callum, who has a real vision for a zero carbon built environment in the 2035 or perhaps earlier, and a focus on embodied carbon there. And the H1 consultation on the building code is a separate, smaller focus on insulation. We have published our response to that on the website if you'd like to have a look. And then we're seeing a far greater interest in embodied carbon. We're going to see some great examples, not least from Simon Wilson directly after me. So, are we doing enough? No. Exactly. Right, so this is all scene setting, isn't it? You know, it's nice, it builds a base, but really what we need to do is go far further. Well, we are seeing some things happen. So we are seeing a whole range of buildings come through, a huge rise in interest from refurbishments of existing buildings, great for low embodied carbon, seeing libraries come through, churches, industrial buildings, hotels, hospitals, mental health, and one of my favourites, because it's from the Taranaki Base Hospital, aiming not just to be 5 Green Star, but also completely off gas. and also a surge in interest in existing buildings and getting those to lower carbon, healthier standards. You'll hear more about that with an announcement, the first announcement of New Zealand of a really big step from an existing building today. So that's all great, but the truth is we need to go further and we need to go faster. So I put up on the slide the recommendations from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, and they say we need to go as far as possible, as fast as possible, with every decision we make. And you can see here what Minister Shaw talks to is the cliff that's coming up, where we need to drive that change. So my question for you is, are you up for that? Are you up for driving real change through the sector? Let's see a show of hands. Awesome, because we're feeling that from you in the sector. We're seeing you calling for change through the Building for Climate Change program, through your projects, also for change through what government can deliver. So today, we're going to have some great knowledgeable speakers. We're going to see some great examples, and that's really interesting, but I want you to be curious, and I want you to be persistent. So I ask you to push Warren and Marnie on how they design their 6 Green Star building. Sam Archer's thinking about dramatic changes to Green Star to get even more done. Ask him how he's doing that. Make suggestions. Ask NZGBC and PCNZ what they're doing in their advocacy program. And let's also be persistent. This is going to take years to change the building code the way we need to. You know, that's a 3, 4, 6-year program, and we need to keep at it. And let's push for healthier buildings when government build. You know, really, truly amazing things are happening with this paradigm shift, not just in what we do, but I don't know if you saw this morning, but the US government has announced that they support the eradication of property rights for the vaccines that are out in the market. I mean, that is truly astounding to see that. And I feel that with the interest of our tamariki, our mokopuna, with the engagement of you in the sector, we can really step up and deliver something that is a true legacy. So I'll finish with the beautiful Simon Wilson. I'll finish with a closing statement. Patai atu tātou, kia kaha, kia maya, kia mana wānui. Be strong, be brave, be persistent. And that first bit was, let's all ask questions. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Kia ora.